All right, let's talk about gut health. You hear the words probiotics and prebiotics thrown around all the time, right? Well, today, we're going to cut through all that noise and make it super simple. And we're going to do it by thinking about your gut in a whole new way, as your own personal inner garden. Let's dig in.
Seriously, just picture it for a second. Instead of some complicated biological system, what if your gut was just a garden? This ecosystem inside you, your microbiome, is home to trillions of little organisms. And just like any garden, how you take care of it, what you plant, what you feed it, that has a huge impact on your overall health. So where does every good garden start? With the seeds, of course. In our gut garden, those seeds have a special name, probiotics. They're the absolute foundation for getting that inner ecosystem to really flourish. So let's get into what they actually are.
Okay, so here's the official definition from the World Health Organization. Now, don't let the sciencey words throw you. There are really only two things you need to remember here: live microorganisms and health benefit. It means they have to be alive when you take them and, they have to actually be the good guys, the kind of bacteria that are there to help you out.
And that brings us right back to our garden. Probiotics are the seeds. Simple as that. When you eat or drink them, you are literally planting these helpful little bacteria, hoping they'll settle in, sprout, and grow a healthy community right there in your gut.
So where can you find these amazing little seeds? Mostly in fermented foods. Basically, fermentation is a process where these good bacteria have a big feast on sugars, and that's what creates those unique flavors and a whole army of probiotics. We all know yogurt and kefir, but you can also find them in things like unpasteurized sauerkraut, kimchi, and even some pickles. Just a little pro tip, make sure they're not made with vinegar, because that would wipe out all the good stuff we're looking for.
Okay, so we've planted our seeds. But you can't just throw seeds in the ground and walk away, right? They need food. They need fertilizer to grow big and strong. And in our gut garden, that's where our second player comes in, prebiotics. Now I know, another official definition that sounds a little dense, but the idea behind it is incredibly simple. Prebiotics are basically a special kind of food that only your good gut microbes can eat. They're not for you, they're for them. And this is a perfect fit for our garden metaphor. If probiotics are the seeds, then prebiotics are the fertilizer. They're not adding any new bacteria to the mix, nope. Their job is to nourish and feed the good ones that are already there, helping them grow and multiply. And the best part? You can find this fertilizer in tons of common high-fiber foods. I'm talking about stuff you probably already have in your kitchen. Garlic, onions, oats, bananas. They are all packed with these special fibers that your good gut bacteria absolutely love to munch on. So let's just lay it all out, side by side, to make it crystal clear. Probiotics are the seeds. They're live bacteria found in fermented foods, and their job is to add new members to your gut community. Prebiotics are the fertilizer. They're food for the bacteria, found in high-fiber foods, and their job is to nourish the community you already have. One adds, the other feeds. That's the key difference. So what do you think happens when you put the seeds and the fertilizer together in the garden at the same time? You get explosive growth, right? A much healthier, more vibrant garden. Well, the exact same thing is true for your gut. This combination is a seriously powerful duo.
And there's actually a name for this combo. When you have both probiotics and prebiotics working together, either in a meal or a supplement, it's called a synbiotic. It comes from the word synergy, which just means that together, they're way more powerful than they would be on their own. And this synergy is a really big deal. The prebiotics basically act as a personal chef for the new probiotics, making sure they have plenty of food to survive and set up shop. Together, they do a much better job of balancing your whole gut microbiome. Plus, when these happy, well-fed bacteria do their thing, they produce these amazing compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which are like a superfood for the cells that line your gut, keeping everything strong and healthy. Okay, it's a fair question. This all sounds great, but is there a catch? Are there any downsides to all this new activity happening in your gut garden? For most of us, the answer is a pretty clear no, but there are a couple of things to be aware of, especially when you're just getting started. The most common thing people notice at first is maybe a little extra gas or bloating. But don't worry, that's totally normal. It's just a sign that things are changing in there and your system is getting used to all the new residents. It almost always goes away after a week or two. The best advice is just to start low and go slow. Let your body adjust.
Now, this is really, really important. While probiotics are perfectly safe for most people, if you have a compromised immune system or any other serious health condition, you absolutely should talk to your doctor before you start taking any new supplements. It's always better to be safe.
So you've done all this hard work. You've been planting your seeds, you've been spreading the fertilizer. what kind of harvest can you actually expect from your amazing inner garden? Let's take a look at some of the benefits.
The payoff is honestly incredible, and it goes way beyond just your stomach. Of course, a happy gut helps with digestion, but it doesn't stop there. More and more research is showing that a healthy microbiome is linked to a stronger immune system, a healthier heart, and can even have a huge impact on your mental well-being. It's kind of at the center of everything.
At the end of the day, you're the gardener. You're in charge. Now that you know the difference between the seeds, the probiotics, and the fertilizer, the prebiotics, you have the tools you need to cultivate an amazing internal ecosystem. So the only real question left is, what are you going to grow?